The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. Welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, March 7th, 2023. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, with my co-host, Otis Wiley, and Jehuu Caulcrick. And this is Sparta. Man, do we have a jam-packed show today. We have some special guests today. Got a lot of stuff to cover. Guys, talk to me. How you guys feeling, man? How was the weekend treating you guys?
I am feeling good. It's Tuesday. Good weekend.
Got some pancakes over the weekend?
I got some pancakes and a T-bone steak and eggs. All I was missing was the Welch's grape.
Welch's grape. Yeah. Hey, listen. We talked about that. T-bone stood no chance. That thing was clean to the bone. Yeah, we need to. We got a photo of that. He put it on social, didn't you?
No, I just sent it to you guys. I couldn't let the whole community see how clean.
We got to share it with the audience and let them see what's going on, man. And Otis, you got a little bit of static.
All right,
but
let me
tell you guys what though. We're gonna get right into it. We don't have any time to waste right now. We got a special guest right now that we want to bring on straight from the board of trustees, the chairman person of the board, Dr. Rema Vassar, joins the show. Welcome to the show, Doc.
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well.
That always kills me. It kills me when people say chairman. Hi.
He said
correct him right now.
You can really just say chair and call it a day, right? Chair. But certainly not a man.
He said chairperson, didn't you?
No.
I did. I said chairperson of the board.
Wow. You just gonna remix it. Just remix. P. Diddy is not here.
I got faith in you, Stray.
And the first African-American female elected as chair of the board of trustees.
Now you're getting your mouth right. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So you're right.
Don't you right.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you all. Thank you for having me, little old me. Thank you on this big old show.
We trying to climb up there. We trying to get up there.
You're doing big things. The opening. Y'all this is Sparta for real. I was expecting the gladiators to come on out. Y'all doing all this. I like it.
We are here. Let's get right into it. So talk to us a little bit about your background. I know that we ran for the board seats at the same time back in 2020. That's when we met as elected members of the state of Michigan. I was running for the State Board of Education. You ran for Michigan State. Your background, you went to Eastern Michigan, then UCLA, correct?
No, I did not go to Eastern Michigan. I used to teach it. Yeah, so I'm a Bronco initially.
There we go.
Yeah, Western was my undergrad. I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. And Michigan, Western was the number one teacher preparation program in the country at one point. It was a teacher's college. So I went there to get all my training to be an English teacher. Then I moved to Cali right after that, and I started teaching in Long Beach, Bellflower, Pasadena, Downey. I was a teacher, counselor, a principal. And in 2014, I had to move back to Michigan. My mother had a liver transplant. And I decided, oh, okay, well, let's see what we could do here. I don't know how I ended up on the board. 2.4 million people decided I was an okay candidate, I guess.
That's awesome. Yeah, you mentioned Pasadena. I had spent some time in old town Pasadena. Now that's
Dina.
nice.
So I was until 2014, I was a counselor at John Muir High School.
Okay, yeah.
Fast Times Richmond High. They filmed that. They filmed that at Pasadena. It's a beautiful, beautiful school, but a lot of issues. A lot of kids with issues. But we went to the Rose Bowl while I was there to play. So there's that.
Right, definitely.
Yeah, the football team.
Steve Smith just said Dr. Rema don't play.
I'm not for the games. That's what my dad used to say. I ain't for the games. I'm not for the games. I'm not for the games.
Nor should you be.
Well, Dr. Rema, thank you for coming on the show tonight, spending some time with us.
Stray said come. So, at that point, what you gonna do? When do you need me, brother? I'll be there. Just let me know. Can you give me the link, sir? Can you give me the link? I'm checking out this chat. Not you on your phone. What the?
Oh, listen! Every time he travels, we got to get him I gotta get him a laptop.
Look, I'm in the.
It's a good background.
Oh, that is the graduate. Oh, you in L. I didn't know you were in East. I said, okay, yeah, that is the graduate. And you got you a little suite too. Good job. Okay.
That's our partner. That's how the graduate treats you. So anytime you are in East Lansing, make sure you come to the graduate.
I come and they don't treat me like that. I need the name drop, right? Oh, I'm Stray's friend. Can I please have a suite? Yeah, I'm glad you told me.
Better drop that Otis Wiley.
Is that what I need to do? That's what I need to do. Let me take my notes right now and put it down because they have me. Never mind. I'm not. Go ahead. What's the question?
No, I was just. I know you've been. It's been a lot of current events happening. Obviously, when you've been a part of the board, and one thing I saw you, which was when I saw you in New York when we was at Rutgers. I tried to make my way over there, but security blocked me from getting off from my baseline seat. I saw you in New York with Rutgers, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you down there.
Yeah, I was like, I got the credential and everything. They was like, sir, the game is going on right now. You got to wait. And then,
you should have waved. You should have waved. I would have come to get you. That is in certain spaces, not at the graduate, obviously, but in certain spaces, I got a little bit of juice. If you would say, "Hey, what do you want?" I would say, "Okay, let me go get from there."
Yeah.
You got a woody woot next time.
Definitely. It was a great game, but there was where my wife is her alma mater is Rutgers, and so we got in-house rivalry, and it took it to us. So I thought we could win that game, but you've been a part of some obviously some things that has happened on campus, but I guess take us through like just how everything has kind of evolved and how we as Spartans are trying to just one, heal from what happened with the mass shooting, but there is business that has to get back to normal, but kind of talk through like what's happening right now, for Spartan fans, alums, as we kind of got eyes all on us, in East Lansing.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like Michigan State just, it's like take that is no breaks, right? It's a kind of a protracted trauma. So there's a lot of work to be done on this board, and that didn't help, right? This event that occurred on February 13th on a random Monday, right, in USA, it was it kind of knocked us on our heels. So I have a daughter who's an alleged senior at Michigan State. Hopefully she'll be graduating Mother's Day weekend. I've crossed all my fingers and my toes, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But she was sheltered in place for those 4 hours. So right after I got the call that there was a shooter, she called me. And that was probably one of the first times I picked up right away, because generally she asked for money. So, I declined. I'll send that straight to voicemail. But I did pick up, and she was, all I heard were helicopters and police cars, right? It was really, really bad. So for 4 hours, I'm checking on her. And she's in the bathroom, locked in her room on campus. And I'm also trying to keep up with the updates, right, from the chief of police and from the interim president, Teresa Woodruff. So that night was kind of rough up until about 2:00 a.m. Just trying to make sure students were safe. And I'm getting these, updates, but I'm also feeling all my family saying, is the baby girl okay? But then also trying to watch the news. And that was intense, because on the news, I kept seeing a lot of students outside, right, milling about. And I'm thinking, wait, there's a shooter. Like, why aren't these kids, and I call them kids, they're actually young adults, but they're babies, right? They're 19, 18-year-old children who are out on the campus, which is always safe. It's always a safe place to be. Michigan State is a land grant institution. It's open to the community. People come there, bring their children there to the gardens, to to play. You'll go for a spring practice, for a spring ball practice. I mean, it's a place that you're supposed to come and feel safe and secure. And really that shooter that night destabilized our sense of security and safety at that campus. It was not our best moment as a nation, but it's indicative of larger issues, right? What happened at Michigan State happens every day around the nation. So there's got to be some changes made. But since then, what I wasn't anticipating was this kind of outpouring. When I tell you Spartans are the salt of the earth, I do mean that. Like, and it's not a local community, it's not a statewide community, it's an international, global community that came and just poured love, empathy, compassion, resources onto that campus for about, I would say 10 days straight, just hitting us with all kinds of support in every way that you can think of. The worst part, probably the worst day of my life, actually, was calling those parents of those children who were killed. I mean, that was several gut punches in rapid succession, just to talk to folks who had sent their children to college, sent their babies to college, and their children were not coming back home. No parent ever would anticipate something like that. And making those phone calls, I thought, was necessary as the chair, but that was difficult. I went to visit all the families in the hospital, and when Sparrow, that facility, they took such great care of them, and the community also. I mean, there was food and blankets everywhere. To the point where they couldn't handle all of the things that were being sent to those families, and so that kind of support and outpouring is really what MSU is about. And our heads are bowed but not broken. I think through tragedy, every time in my life where there's been something that I felt like wasn't ideal, but sometimes even traumatic, we're a resilient people. So we come back bigger, better, badder, dapper, and that's what's going to happen at MSU. So there's security that's being tightened up. There's some safety issues that we need to kind of shore up. But for me, all the police communities, we had the FBI, we had Lansing State Police, we had Lansing Local Police, East Lansing Local Police, Michigan State Chief Marlon Lynch. They all came together with a coordinated effort in that moment. But I don't know that you can ever be completely prepared. And I think they did everything they had prepared to do and executed in a way that was heartening to see, but also I think emblematic or model for other folks. And so, yeah, it's been really tough, but also it gives you hope in humanity that people came like that and rallied like that. It gives you a hope for the future that, you know, only MSU could give. So I'm grateful that I was there at such a time as that. I'm a licensed counselor, so I was, you know, able to speak to people with a trauma-informed language. And I think that was important for me to be in leadership at that moment.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, talk about, you know, so you being a licensed counselor and your background. So you've made a fast track to be the chair of Michigan State Board of Trustees.
I waited 2 years.
A whole 2 years, right? And how long is the term for everybody that doesn't know? How long is your
It's
term?
an 8-year sentence. It's it's an 8-year bid.
It's a sentence.
It's an 8-year bid.
Unpaid.
That's what I keep telling them. There's 3 words: volunteer. Y'all think that I get paid for this? I really don't. And so I think people think also, you know, you get to go to all the games. You know, the first collegiate game, I'm pretty much a nerd, right? I kind of stopped at Western, but I have a PhD from UCLA in education. I'm a nerd. I read, I write, I read, and I write some more. That's what I do. I research and present all around the world and teach leadership, right? I'm a nerd. So the first collegiate game I've ever attended in all the years that I've been a college student and a college professor was the Nebraska MSU game when I became a board member. And I felt obligated to go. And it took everything I had not to bring my laptop, because I had other things to do. You know, like, sure, there's breaks. You know, there's breaks. There's, you know, there's timeouts. There's, you know, there's a halftime. I felt like I could get some work done in between, but you really can't because you're on the whole time. People are like, you get to go to all the games. I'm like, man. And really, honestly, that Michigan State game, I'll never do that again. Never in life. I will never. I'm pretty tough. I've been fighting since kindergarten. I've been nonviolent since 1999, but I used to fight a lot.
1999.
1999. I've been nonviolent. I generally don't feel unsafe in spaces. I felt like, oh wait, it can really pop off in this place. Like, everybody's drunk for like 3 days straight before they get to the game, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, a whole bunch of drunk people with all this adrenaline. I might have to knuckle up, and I don't want to do that. I'm a professional.
But if you have to,
I practice nonviolence.
Okay.
I'm not expert.
Okay.
Right. It's every day I have to make a decision to love. Every day I have to choose love and not violence. Yeah, but that is a serious rivalry for real.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All I heard was try Jesus, not me.
My pronouns are a threat. Try me. That's those are my pronouns.
So Dr. Rema, you know alluded to a little bit there, you know, being on the board of trustees, and you know, there's a lot of things that people don't know. Like one, you know, it's a volunteer kind of thing, and then it's, you know, like you said, it's an 8-year term, but also two, you know, that we pride ourselves in this show on pulling the curtains back and everything like that, and you know, it's like a barbershop here, you know. So
I've never been to the barbershop, sir. I don't go to the barbershop, sir. That's another place that's not that safe.
Salon.
Yeah. Hair salon.
We're in the salon. We're in the shop. You know.
Okay, we're in the shop. We're in the shop.
The hair dryer.
Yeah.
Because you know when that's when it happens. That's when the spot talking happens.
All of it goes down when you're at the dryers. Yes, it does. It does. Okay, so now I can relate. I'm good. Okay.
So now, like, the people don't know, like, what role does the board of trustee play in the athletic side of things, from, you know, having the confidence in coaches, you know, budgetary stuff, NIL coming up now, like where, you know, funds go into different places and everything like that. What roles do the board of trustees play in that?
Yeah, so the board is really high level governance, right? We don't get into the day-to-day, everyday operations of the university. But because MSU is such a big a big community that comes around to gather and be a collective around sports, the board has to pay attention to what's happening on the biggest teams, right? And the biggest teams you might not really think about in terms of, even like hockey is a big deal, right? Women's gymnastics is a big deal, and so we try to stay away from making managerial or budgetary decisions. We were engaged in the hiring of the AD. The board that predates me was engaged in hiring Mel Tucker. When Izzo decides he had his fill, which then I think he'll probably be the president of the university. He's beloved. He really has no bosses, so he can stay as long as he wants to. But if he decides to leave while I'm on the board, then I'll be engaged in the hiring of the high profile positions. But generally, we're advisory, right? We will come together to kind of talk about who the candidates are, and at the very end, when they've selected, the committees have selected their candidates, then we'll weigh in. In the last couple of times, though, and AD Haller is kind of open to this. He'll talk to the board a lot more than other ADs have. He'll come and talk to the board about issues that he's having, or goals that he has in terms of fundraising, goals that he has in terms of beefing up facilities, things like that. He'll come. He engages the board and uses the eclectic talents. Right, we have a diverse set of folks on this board with all kinds of reach, all kinds of expertise, and he leans on the board in ways that I think are appropriate. So because is it Izzo who says sports are the front porch of MSU? We have to be engaged in ways that we don't have to be engaged in other areas of the institution. So we just got a briefing from Alan Haller this morning at 8 a.m. Right, so it's kind of intense. It's kind of intense. I've learned a lot. Right, I've been faculty, so again, a nerd. But I had to learn a lot about, what is necessary to have a fan experience, where we rank in terms of our facilities and other schools, particularly the SEC. Having visited those campuses, we look like sometimes like a high school outfit, right? Our facility. So NIL, we try to stay away from. We did have one trustee who rolled off here last year who was more engaged, but we try to stay out because it's still kind of uncharted territory, right? But we do know that we have to beef up NIL, because if we want talent, we have to compete with big money donors in the South, right? Who bleed football in different ways and also give their money in different ways. And so we dibbled and dabbled in the NIL conversations, but we try to stay, in our lane, because it's still what's the word I want to use when you don't have regulation? It's deregulated a lot. And
the Wild West.
I didn't want to say it, but that's exactly what it is.
Sure.
But we have to be competitive. If we don't have NIL money, we're not going to get talent.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump back in, and these guys are going to give me shit because they say I always hog off all the questions and everything. But we all.
And you don't care. And you don't care.
Go ahead.
I respect it.
You hit on it a little bit about keeping up with everybody, and sports and now universities and everything is now coming to that keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing now. Otis, he's traveled to different places, and he comes back with all these like, wow, he was at LSU. It's a great fan experience. Jason, he's been all over the place as well, and seeing, especially now, Jason's starting to see the recruiting side of things from his family side of things. What does Michigan State have to do, or what are we missing to get to that point where every single Saturday, that stadium's packed. The fan engagement's there, or like, the university, that's the spot to be, not just on football, but just as a university and everything. What steps do we have to take to be like, oh man, MSU's the place to be?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that we've thought about, right? We obviously need some upgrade in a lot of our facilities. Because the fan experience is the draw, right? But and this is kind of the controversial piece, right? There are a couple of trustees who have really pushed to sell alcohol. I think that's important. I don't drink.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah, I don't drink. Again, a full nerd. I've never smoked marijuana a day of my life. I don't drink. I don't do any of those things, but I do know people drink. And that, oh wow. Okay. So yeah, so on the job they drink. So I do know that it's important. And really that Michigan State game let me know we could be getting paid. I mean, these people, I'm telling you, they drank for 3 days before they got to the game. And so they're already falling down, getting carried out the stadium. If we have the alcohol there, I think it actually would be safer because people wouldn't be getting drunk before they get there. And we could also be selling that and making a profit. And so I wasn't really a big proponent, but after that Michigan State game, I was a believer. Yes, the alcohol should be here and we should be profiting off of that. So I think that's it's a controversial topic, but I think we have the legislative support at this point to kind of make that happen, to bring alcohol to the stadium. And then we got to win. Nothing else brings
Right.
fans in like winning. But it's all connected. If you're touring East Lansing and you're from, let's say LA, right? Only because, that's where I spent most of my adult life. You have to convince me. I mean, it's snowing, right? It looks kind of sparse, right? Doesn't look like there's a lot happening in terms of nightlife. You have to convince me with the facilities. You have to also convince me with the relationships, right? So relationship to a good coaching staff who's building a culture that is inviting and family-like, I think is really, really important. So who we recruit for talent in terms of the coaches is really, really important too. It's the total package. And so I think, one, you have an AD who sees that vision. Two, you have a football coach who sees that vision. Having been other places, I think Coach Tucker knows the difference. And again, I was able to see for myself. We went to Alabama. We went to Georgia State. We went to, there's one more place I went where, Auburn. Richie Rich, right? Like it was just like a completely different environment than what we have at Michigan State. And it's not like we are short. Ishbia, our largest donor, just got Man of the Year for Crane's Business, right? We were at his little function this afternoon to commemorate all the work that he's done. He's still opening his pocketbook. We just got to tell him where to give the money. Then there's all these other Spartans who are committed to seeing our athletics program shine. And so we really have to have a vision and make it plain so that we can execute, because they'll bring the money. All we got to do is, what did they say? If you build it, they will come.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think it's the whole situation. It's the fan experience. It's the coaches. But it's also facilities. And then, when you get there, what kind of community do student athletes feel like they have when they get there? Because East Lansing is vastly different than other campuses, right? It's kind of isolated in a lot of ways.
And I look back and what we had no city. And they got more than what we had back in the day.
Right.
You talked about I'm living and breathing all what you mentioned, right? Like I manage all the corporate partnerships. And so when you talk about, the beer category, we have all of our beer partners that are year to year just waiting. Like they're just waiting and just keep asking when. we keep telling them like, hey, it's legislation. It hasn't been approved yet. We got all this stuff happening. When do you feel that it could pass and we are free game to get a big time pouring rights deal? Because to your point, I've seen the revenue, I've seen the numbers of what will come in, and I'm like, basically we all gonna eat if we can get that done. Like I'm just legit. Like if I'm here and I'm here to stay, like that's gonna be a good years and a couple years in the future if we can get that done. But when do you feel like we're there, or are we like still long?
No, we're this close. And
Okay.
I think under my tenure as chair, like I go back and forth, like do I want a full 2 years? It's a 2-year sentence to be the chair, but I'm thinking of maybe shortening that to a year and kind of just like hit it hard and move on. And so within my tenure, that's one of my biggest goals, right? Is to think of innovative ways to bring money into the university. But athletics is the biggest way to do that, right? And so that NIL, but then co-branding, I think, there's other universities who have co-branding relationships, and somehow MSU is late to the game on this. What I've noticed about MSU is it's kind of risk adverse, and I majored in English, so I can barely add. I'm out here, on my fingers and toes, and but what I do know is how to count dollar bills. And for me, the co-branding is kind of like a no-brainer. Like if someone else is willing to take the brand and sell merchandise and put it back in the NIL, why are we not doing this, right? So it's really thinking about creative ways to bring in sponsorships, but partnerships, and being less risk averse. I think the Wild Wild West is a good term. And what happens with the SEC is they make all the moves, and they never ask for permission, never, but they don't even ask for forgiveness. Right, because I'm that kind of person, right? I'll just be like, yeah. Oh, I didn't know, my bad, right? Like I'll do that afterwards. They don't even say my bad. They're like, whatever, and come for me. Like I like that energy. Just if there's no regulations, then we're not regulated. That's how I feel, right? Like if there's no regulations, then we should be free to create some things. And then later on, people can say, well, maybe not that, or maybe that, not that. But to me, if you're not taking risks and you're not creating, then you're stagnant. And so and I don't think we can afford to do that in any area in university, but particularly in athletics.
So when you went like this now for that, how close are we? Like, are you talking like we're 4th and 1? Put Choo Choo in for that first down, or like September 2nd when we open against Central? Are there going to be cold ones in the stands, or
right? So that's the goal, right? That's the goal is by the fall to be well stocked.
The coolers ready.
Yeah, I don't know all the language. Is it top shelf? I don't know. What is it?
It's import, domestic, craft. Are we going to get some spirits in there? Some
beer, wine.
So beer, liquor. Wine, but like if you say we're gonna get some liquor, like I got people knocking right now.
Yeah, so a liquor license does kind of scare me, because again, I felt like, I did have on some tennis shoes, so I felt like I could maybe get in it, at that Michigan game, but I felt like this is hectic. But so I don't know.
The premium spaces, like high-end liquor, like having like a nice high-end upscale where our donors can come and have this vibe and have this full deal. Like I'm talking that versus like, beer and wine for, general admission, not general admission, but season ticket holders that are outside the local. But like I can't wait. We're gonna have to talk offline, because I'm in these meetings and I'm working here and trying to make sure, like, we got a lot of money on the table, and all we need is that it's time to go. And
there's not opposition. There's not opposition to it. We gotta just push through the paperwork. So we can chop it up, but we're on the same page with this.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think with you too. Like I'm in full agreement that I think, and from talking to other people, other state people that have stadiums that have alcohol and stuff, it's gone down. Like the drinking issues and everything like that in the stadium, because kids aren't chugging pints before they come into the game because they know, there's nothing in there, and they're passing out by halftime and everything like that. I think issues and problems will be lower than it is now.
I agree. It's a safety issue too. Like I said, I've never felt unsafe in most of my adult life, and I was like, oh, these people are for real not well right now. Like it could go all the way left. So yeah, I think it's a safety issue, but it's also a revenue stream that we haven't tapped into.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough day when we went to Champaign, Illinois this past season, and Choo saw all the beer that the Illini were selling, and it's like, if Illinois has passed us,
I hate them. I hate them.
Illinois has passed.
I hate them.
And Illinois had some of the best food in the press box.
Yeah,
that's
we
ridiculous.
Got to talk about that too. Food in the press box. I think
food in the press box, because Illinois had someone coming. They had homemade horseradish dressing for their Reubens and everything. Homemade. They were boasting to me, oh yeah, we have Mrs. Nanny that comes in every Saturday and makes it in the back.
I don't want this. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. And see, this is the thing. I mean, what is it? Illinois. What is that? What is that? I mean, what even is that? And that they have beat us on any metric is really shameful, in my opinion. And I don't know if you.
Dogs.
That's right. That's right.
Have you been to Champaign? Like hung out with
them? Oh yes, and it ain't nothing.
They do have one fire taco truck though out there by the.
Wow.
Oh, fire taco truck. Before we let you go, Doc, talk about the expansion of the Big Ten before you go.
Your brother's coming in, Martin Sherman. You
UCLA coming in your term, your sentence while you're a trustee. They're going to be coming into the Big Ten. How do you feel about that?
Excited, right? So I think Jason knows this. I travel to LA every 4 to 6 weeks to get my hair done.
I don't tell nobody that story.
Oh man, there's nobody on the east side, right, of the state. There's no one.
First of all, I'm a little too old for these young hairstyles. I get a press and a curl. Do you hear me? And I'm too old to not have edges. I'm gonna have edges, and they trying to burn them out here in Detroit. So I don't come to any place in Detroit. I just go straight back to Beverly Hills to my old hairdresser so she could just press and curl my hair. So, so this is good for me because now I get to go back, go see a game, right? And I get to chop it up with the donors and then get my hair done and come on back. I think it's awesome. I think the expansion. That's selfish.
That powder blue though.
Gymnastics trips, golfing trips.
I'm going to every sport. Every sport
that goes to UCLA and USC.
Every sport. And I really don't. UCLA and USC, they don't have quite the rivalry that Michigan State and Michigan have. There's nothing like that rivalry that I've ever seen. Michigan State and Michigan, but Bruins don't like the Trojans, and so if Michigan State can smack USC, it just I think in cuss words. I'm trying to think. I need them to beat. I need them to lose to Michigan State every single time. I need SC to feel defeated with their blood and sweat and tears and some meat off of their shoulders and their arms left on the field each time. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. Leave their hearts on the field.
And you said you was a nerd, not a sports. You know what it is. You know what it is.
I'm a nerd. The best games to go to are the kids, right? When you go to a high school game or a club game for kids, I'm the auntie. You want me on that. You want me in the stands. If we lose, I should have probably gotten put out the game as a fan, because I'm going in. Talking about other parents. I'm talking about the refs. I'm going in. I'm the auntie you want, because I'm gonna make you feel like a celebrity. Those are the games. I hadn't been to a collegiate game, but all the kids games, man, please. I'm super, super competitive. So the SC game, I need their hearts left on the field. I need them to have some marks in them left on the field with cleat marks in them for all the SC games. So I'm really excited about the expansion. I think it's going to bring in more money too.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
without a doubt. We truly appreciate the time. We could talk to you for a long time here. I mean, very entertaining, very informal for us. Thank you for coming on the show. Really
Thank you for having me. This was the highlight of my week. Well, actually of this year, because it's been
been a little rough.
Man, so just thank you for the energy. Thank you for coming with the hard questions. With the hard questions.
We didn't want to put you out there that much, but we just wanted to. Yeah, this is that show. We're family. We're in the living room. We're
see how she's flossing on us, though, putting that hand up with that ring. You see how she
bling bling every time.
You're back.
Awesome.
We need more of these rings, by the way. We need more.
We do.
You're right.
We need more. This is awesome. You guys are doing a great job. Anytime you want me to come, let me know. I would love to stop by. Keep doing this. Keep putting Spartan on the map. Then Sparta.
Yes.
That's how y'all do it. Keep putting us on the map. Yeah, we need all the great vibes and intelligent young men like yourselves to big up us over and over and over again. So just keep up the good work. And like I said, anytime you need me, let me know. And Otis, we need to chop it up about the hard liquor and is it the draft and the craft?
The draft, the imported, domestic.
You need to give me the whole. Give me
the whole. Yeah, I'll give you the whole gamut. Yep.
Okay. All right.
I appreciate you that you're in the chair for us. Appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you. Have a good night, good people.
You too.
All right, you too. Great interview, man. Hey, way to keep asking those questions, Choo-Choo. These guys are going to give me. Hey, look, we got no time to waste here. We're rolling right into the next situation, and which is, none other than Chuck Brantley, who will be joining the show with us. Chuck, what's up?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Oh, the Chuck.
There he is.
Hey, the other zero.
Yes,
the other zero.
The other zero.
That's right.
Chuck, what wanting to see? Let me ask you this.
Keon, but the real zero.
let me just ask you this off the bat, because back when you couldn't have zero. Zero just got integrated 2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Why zero?
When I came here, so 5 was my number. I always had 5 since my older brother had it. Cause my older brother, that's all we rep was number 5. I don't know why, but it's just something we always rep. But on my way up here, Coach Barnett, I asked Coach Tuck. I was like, no, it was Barnett. I asked Coach Barnett. I was like, is 5 open? But 5 wasn't open because Michael Fletcher was here. You feel me? And I was like, okay. So what number's open? Then I say, nobody got 0. I came up with number 0. Nobody was thinking of it. I was like, okay, do y'all have 0? And Coach Tuck said he can make it happen. So that's how it came,
Damn. There you go.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Chuck, man, there's a lot of stuff we want to talk about with you, man. We're going to give a little precursor to that with a message from our friends over at IHOP.
Okay.
Introducing new sweet and savory crepes. Whether you like the flavor of cinnamon bun after sunset, or prefer to wake up to a little eggs and bacon, day or night, it's always time for crepes. For a limited time, buy one, get one free, with 5 flavors that are delicious any time of day. Only from IHOP. Download the app and earn free food with every order.
All right, hey, crepes now at IHOP. And to talk more in depth about IHOP and with the special announcement, we're going to bring on the residential IHOP rep, Cal. Come on, Cal. Talk to us.
I just need to be on here full time, guys.
I mean, you kind of are.
No, we don't. Nope.
Just incorporate me into the threesome over here, you know?
What's the announcement, Cal?
Well, so just like with Keon, we are now extending an NIL offer to Chuck to be a representative here for my local IHOPs, and especially in the Michigan area. So welcome aboard, Chuck. We'd love to have you.
Yes, sir.
You know, looking forward to this partnership as well.
Look at that play right there.
Got to get the double zeros.
Yeah. Chuck know that. Hey, Chuck, what game was that, Chuck? With that pick?
What's down the road?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Congratulations on that. Obviously, IHOP is a big partner with us. Cal's a good dude, does a lot for your university, behind the scenes that people don't see, and, like this here. And what does this mean to you, partnering with such a, class organization like IHOP and everything?
To me, this means, I ain't gonna lie to you, this means a lot to me because this really my first offer, really like actual big offer, because I get a little like NIL deals on the side or whatever, but with IHOP, I never had nothing like this major, you feel me? And I just want to thank Kyle, appreciate you for having me on this, and shoot, hey, I'm not really a talking person. I don't really do interviews. You feel me? This is my first time really in the camera.
It's all good, bro.
You're doing good,
baby. You're doing good.
It's all good. We're in the locker room. Bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, I think he needs one of Choo-Choo's drinks over there.
What's that?
He needs one of your drinks over there, too.
Yeah, he need to go.
No, he's healing up, man. He's healing up.
Coach Tuck ain't gonna like that one.
Look, he said Coach Tuck ain't gonna like it. Hey, we need to get him some pancakes where he can heat them up so he can get on that weight. You need that weight gain, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, man, when I found out his hoodie size was a medium, I said, what?
Right.
I can't even fit an arm in a medium.
That's me.
I see this. So this was the first season I was doing some sideline reporting for Michigan State. Jason's up in the box there doing the color analyst there along with George. And so I'm walking down and I see you, like walking down and I'm like, damn, man, how big is like my legs bigger than Chuck, but Chuck, you out there hitting people like.
Yes,
like what's the mindset, the mentality going into it? Because you put everything in it, and you're a player that I look at. And I remember the first game, I'm sitting down there and I'm on my phone taking notes, and I'm like, Chuck Brantley, he can play. He's that heart and soul. Like, what's your mindset, back there?
See, my mindset when it comes to me being smaller than everybody on the field, I always been like that my whole life. So I always had to overcome of everybody saying he too small, he can't do this. But my mama always told me, and I always stood on it. She always told me the bigger you is, the harder you fall. And that's why I always went by that the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt.
Right. Chuck, you'll find out, man. I came in $175, maybe 80 wet. Like, I didn't have those.
Nobody, but I came in $138.
Woo!
$138.
Man, you made me look like a king, man. But Coach Manning, and this is one of those things you talk about. It was he has this good way of like encouraging you, right? And so I wasn't lifting weights. I was a 3-sport athlete, so it was back to back. Never really had a break, but I remember them telling me we're gonna put weight on you, so there's no issues. You have a frame. But I remember my mentality was I got a heart of a lion, so. If I go out and hit somebody, I'm gonna knock a shoulder out with it. You know what I mean? But I see you right now. In the sling, and you resting up, you healing up. Give us kind of a behind the curtain standpoint of what you're going through right now to get ready for next season.
Okay, so after during the Indiana game, it was 2 plays back to back with this shoulder. So my freshman year, I heard this versus my right shoulder versus Purdue. I had surgery on this shoulder. I ain't have a spring that next year. I didn't play spring at all. So fall camp came. I started doing my thing back again. I got back in my groove. Come Indiana game. You know, it's kind of chilly out there. So we went to no sleeves. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of cold out here. So it was 2 plays. So one of the plays, the running back bounced outside. Then he cuts it up. So I come make the tackle. I hit him with my right shoulder. Say, okay. Then the very next play, the quarterback do a QB counter. He comes. I hit him with my left shoulder, but also Cal Halliday lands on me. So I'm like, okay, I feel my shoulder. I'm like, it doesn't feel right. I felt like the first time I heard this one. I'm like, okay, this don't feel right. So I look at Coach Tuck. Well, first of all, I was laying on the ground. Derek Harmon come pick me up. Like,
big fella.
Stop being soft. I was like, I'm hurting right now. Like, I was shaking my shoulder. I look at Coach Tuck. I could you not. I see him put his mic back down and walk the other way. I was like, okay, he wants me to stay in the game. Okay, that's what this is.
If I don't see it or hear it, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
I mean, I've been here before, so my comeback, I feel like it's gonna be even much stronger.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Without question, Chuck. Man, you know you're a native of Venice High School, correct?
Yes,
down
sir.
in Florida. Man, you got a lot of talent down there. I was down there for a game this past year. Talk about like when did you start playing the game, and like how did that prepare you, you know, going through Venice High School, prepare you for playing at this level at Michigan State?
So I started playing. I picked up the football since I was probably like 4. So my pops, I don't really like speaking. My mom and my pops, they not together and nothing. My dad, you know, I always had a relationship with my pops. You feel me? My pops, he's finna get out of, you know, he's incarcerated right now. You feel me?
Okay.
So, but he always told me like, cause my older brother was good as heck. Like he was like a Michael Vick. My older brother, like everybody used to praise my older brother. You feel me? Like he's gonna be the one. But my pops used to always say like, yeah, my oldest son is good, but this the one. Like he's always telling me that. And I just always play football because I used to always walk around with a football, gloves on my hands. Like, then it got to a point where I think in my 8th grade year, well, really my 7th grade year, I started playing 7-on-7. Coach Adrian McPherson, we communicate, but we don't communicate as much. I communicate when I go back home and I need to work out or something. But I always play 7-on-7 with him, and I never played with people my age. I always played with everybody older than me. Like the 2018 class, I always played with the 2018 class that graduated. I always played 2 grades higher than me. Then come 8th grade, I go on a unofficial visit to Austin P. That's when I picked up my first scholarship offer. 8th grade. Then after that, freshman year, I go to Riverview High School. Just before I go to Venice. I go to Riverview. I played there for 2 years. Sophomore year, I had an interception record at 9 interceptions.
Damn. That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. I know. So, after that season, like that spring coming up, I said, like, I'm not feeling anymore. I wanted to play with better competition. It wasn't nothing about review. It's just I wanted to play with better competition. So, and Venice always had a national schedule that they always played, but it was like from my city, they 30 minutes away. So I had to go. I transferred to a private school in Bradenton, Florida. Now I Ubered or I caught a ride with someone every day, 40 minutes, and always went to Venice. And
wow,
Coach Peacock, I don't know, that coach, he's different. Like he don't smile, he barely talk. The only time he talking is about football. But like they just showed me like they used to always like praise me, like they just be like, okay, I know he gonna come hit. They always did. My biggest thing since I've been in high school, like little league, was weight. Always my whole life.
But
that's really my biggest downfall.
I don't. It's not a downfall, Chuck. You have a heart of a lion. You come hitting and everything like that. It is not a downfall that you know your weight, your size. I think that elevates you.
I feel like I know it elevates me a lot, but at the end of the day, I gotta be able to hold up if I want to play at the next level. You feel me?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely.
I'll help you.
Well, I'm gonna play at the next level.
Right.
Kyle's gonna get you those protein pancakes.
Yeah.
How do you, as Jason said, how do you attack your stats? How do you eat your pancakes? What kind of pancakes do you like? Are you a plain guy, chocolate chip?
I like chocolate chip pancakes. Chocolate chip pancakes.
And how do you cut them, Chuck? How do you cut them? Do you just use a fork? Do you cut them in a certain design?
So I
you do a
get
pizza pie?
I get a butter knife. I go down the middle. I fold it, then cut them in fours. You know.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like
You're teaching Otis over here.
that's a strategy there.
What you say, Otis? I can hear you.
can't hear you.
You're so low. But so you cut it in fours, and then so you just eat 4 pieces.
It depends on how many pancakes I got. See, at Coney Island, at Sparty's Coney Island, they pancakes is like huge.
Oh, they're huge.
So I was like,
Yeah,
I remember one time I went there. It was me and Auntie Willie. We went there to go eat. So I'm ordering the pancakes, but the lady, she's asking me like, "Are you sure? Like, you want 3 pancakes?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want 3 pancakes." So they brought them to the table. I'm like, how am I supposed to eat?
Oh, they're crazy. I know they're huge.
Yeah,
My son made the same mistake, man. Those things are huge. Like
now
half of one, a quarter of one is a whole short stack at IHOP. But go ahead.
now you can throw that Coney Island. You can go to the IHOP. You can get yourself a T-bone steak. You can get a T-bone steak, 4 eggs, and a stack of pancakes.
On T-bone steak. That sounds good.
Choo had it the other night, man. It was hitting.
It was like it was to the point my wife, because we were eating, and then I cut it around there, and then I look right, I look left, that bone upside 9 on it. My wife looked, she's like, "You got to stop."
But I will tell you this, he was not lying. He did separate the pancakes, put a little butter on each one of them, and attacked them separately around the plate. And I walked by, I go, "You were not kidding when you said that on the podcast. You literally do this."
Hey, hold on, Cal. I think you were inaccurate when you said a little butter. It was a lot.
Oh yeah, it was yeah.
I make sure every bite gets butter and every bite gets syrup.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I just can't have my pancakes all like soggy. You feel me?
That's what you got to eat it fast. If you eat it fast, it doesn't get soggy. You can't be slow.
Fast. So, Chuck, what's the outlook for the Michigan State football coming up this year? You know, you guys have, you had a great season 2 years ago, which you were here, and then you had a drop off this year, no bowl game. What, in your mind, do you think needs to happen to Michigan State for you guys to get back to where you were before?
I feel like what needs to happen with us, I feel like our team chemistry need to come back together, because my freshman year, our team chemistry in the locker rooms, like, we used to be every morning, like, it don't matter. We can have, like, because, certain people come in, like, certain different times, but we always come in there, but everybody come to the locker room, like, everybody was together. So, like, we'll get on live. We'll be making, like, everybody be turned up early in the morning, 7 a.m., like, even after practice, like, we turned up, like, throughout the day, like, everybody in that same action, the locker room, the training room, and then where we get our food at, and it's like the Scandalarias, you feel me? Like, team chemistry, I feel like that's a big thing with us, because everybody want to be, like, I gotta have that spot, like, this my spot, like, everybody's just for themselves right now, and that's how I see it.
So you're not the first person to come on and say that about that. What do you think that is that this year? I know there's the transfer stuff and everything like that. Like, what do you think that breaks that chemistry?
Honestly, I feel like as players, like, even if our coach is not around, like, my freshman year, our coaches was barely around like that, but all the players, we always used to be around each other, like, every single day, like, of the week, like, 365. So it was like you had no choice but to, like, bond with him, like, because that's your brother at the end of the day.
And you think that you got away from that?
Yeah, I kind of feel like we got away from that. How the locker room was like on the north end zone. You feel me? Then we go eat breakfast inside the Scandalarius. The training room's still in the same spot, but everybody come in at different times. Like we got sections like offense lift, defense lift, or it'd be skill, mid, bigs. But everybody's not together at the time. Like everybody, like skill go lift first in the morning. We be ready to go home. Like we go get our stuff out way and go home. Mids come in, they finna get ready to start right after we done. They finna get ready to start. Then after they start, the bigs start. They finna get ready to start. And then everybody just go their separate ways after they leave the facility. Like people barely even go to the locker room still.
Oh, and so this is something due to the construction that's going on at Michigan State for the new facility. So you're saying because you guys are displaced and there's not a lot of room, that it's messing up the team chemistry.
Yes, sir. And that's what I felt.
That makes
like
sense.
Our last year team, I feel like we were supposed to win it all. You feel me? Just the players we had, like we were supposed to win it all. We wasn't no sorry team. Like we just went out there thinking we better than what we was, and everybody was for themselves, and it just wasn't working like that.
That's interesting. Some key insight.
Yeah, as a you might not have the answer to this, but as a guy, now you're a vet. You've been there 2 seasons, going on your 3rd now. You're a vet. What do you feel you have to do to bring the team together?
I feel like I have to show them more off the field stuff than more on the field, because on the field I'm good on the field, I'm great on the field, but off the field I still have some learning to do and some maturity to growing up and learning life. You feel me? But and I also need to become more vocal. Like I will tell you, like, I'll pull you aside. Like, I'm not finna be loud over the whole team and telling people what to do, because at the end of the day, people gonna listen who they want to listen to.
Right.
And I feel like I don't have that face here at Michigan State. Yeah, that's just me personally. I don't have that face.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do.
You do. Trust us. You do.
Your play talks, man. Like, you show it. So I think it's an opportunity for you to walk in that, man, because like you sitting there, you're playing on the field, you're producing, and you have the clout because you've shown the worth, right? So like, don't shy away from that, man, because you got to level up and hold these boys accountable, man. This is your defense. This is your D.
Let me tell you something, Chuck. If I was in your position and I got that pick against Michigan, you could not tell me nothing.
Like
life.
you did the closer, you did
For
the
life.
walk off, brother, for life.
You don't have to pay for another drink in East Lansing again.
I ain't done yet. They got me last year, so they got
Exactly.
They might have to get it for another 2 years.
Yeah. So Chuck, so game day, what's in your headphones? You music guy? No music guy?
I'm a music guy. Like I put in my music. I put on that Young Boy. I'm in straight kill mode. When I put a Young Boy, I'm in straight kill mode. Like I want everybody's soul.
Young Boy.
What's your game rituals? Like, what's a superstition? Like, what do you got to do every morning for game day to prepare for? Like, obviously you got your music, but what's your ritual?
So I get up on game days. I can't really eat on game days. So Miss Amber, my nutritionist, she'll give me this UCAN. It's like a Gatorade, and she put like some calories in it, and I drink that instead of eating actual food. Feel me? Because on game days, I don't know, I had that adrenaline going. I be sweating all day. Like under my arms, I get sweating. My fingers get sweaty. Like I don't know, I just get that feeling. Like I'm like, okay. Then we get near the game. My stomach started bubbling. I'm like, okay. when we walking out the locker room and we standing across from the other team, and I always stand in the front. So I look at the players. I look at my teammates. I'm like, okay, I got people behind me. And I look in front of me. Everybody's like, they like probably 2-3 times bigger than me. So I just be looking like, they look at. I can see them looking at me. They look at me like, who is this? Like, I'm like, okay, you gonna find out. That's just always how I've been.
Yep.
Like, I never been cocky. Like I never people think I'm cocky. I promise you, I'm never cocky. I'm confident. Like my confidence is through the roof. Like when on the football field, my confidence is crazy.
We see that. We see that.
We definitely see you play that
Absolutely.
way. Man.
We've heard it too.
Crack.
Man,
Oh,
that game day, you said, what was that, young boy?
Yes, NBA young boy.
NBA young boy.
Never broke again.
Yes, sir.
The way you said that, you just looked it up, Jehuu.
No.
Never broke
Never broke again.
He said that.
It had a register.
You're calling him out,
Like,
Otis.
oh, yeah, I got that on my playlist now. Yeah.
Young boy turned
Oh
up.
my goodness. No little baby, huh? No little baby Chuck.
Nah, I don't listen to Lil Baby. Lil Baby he a little too soft in his songs. You feel me? You gotta get that. It's time to drill. When the game's on, it's time to drill.
I like that. Man, Chuck, hey man, congratulations again on your new NIL deal and your partnership with IHOP, man. Like, congratulations and much success to you in the future coming up here next season. We'd love to have you back on after, give us a report because you're not going to be doing the spring, right? So you're going to have to give us some insight of what's going on during the spring drill.
I can do it whenever.
Just give him a mic.
No, I get on here. I actually don't do interviews, but I actually like what y'all doing here. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give
you
him
a
got
mic,
a
give him a
mic. You
sideline
got an
report.
iPhone,
You
right?
heard it right there.
You got an iPhone, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got a mic that hooks up in there. So
Mic it up.
We can do some stuff, man. We'll figure
Yeah.
that out. We'll wrap for
Operation.
sure.
Otis, the operation. He's on it. He's on it.
Chuck,
Right.
get my playlist right too. Throw
Yeah,
some songs
give us a
my
couple
way that I need to
songs.
be hearing.
All right, bet. I'm gonna make a playlist of all the songs I listen to on game days because I got specific songs that I listen to and I put them on repeat all day.
Okay.
Okay.
Give them to y'all.
Hey, so we're gonna get Keon's playlist, we're gonna get Chuck's playlist, and we're gonna play it over the speakers of
We're
IHOP.
playing it all the IHOP.
Oh
It'll be an IHOP.
Look at Charles like, no.
Charles
Family
on his
friendly.
social- Yeah. On his social medias at cbrantley22 on Twitter, and Instagram is at Charles Brantley 5, number 5.
Y'all call me Chuck or whatever, but I really go by CB5 because that was my number.
CB5.
CB5.
All right.
CEO. All right, brother, man. Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy the time with you. Don't forget, here's the dates. There's going to be some meet and greets, little autograph
3
sessions.
3 to 5 p.m., folks. 3 to 5 p.m. I think we missed
3 to
out
5
on that.
p.m.
3 to 5 p.m.
Yep. April 1st in Grand Rapids. And then what was the other one? That was April 22nd in Brighton. There's the addresses
Yep.
right there. For those listening on the podcast, that's 5039 28th Street, Southeast Grand Rapids. That's April 1st. April 22nd, 8075 Nimco Way in Brighton, Michigan. Man, love that picture, Chuck. You guys,
I'm gonna need one of those with the pancakes holding up like that.
Yeah.
But just put a guy from behind you from down the road, so I know he's a little bit smaller and you're a little bit up
Yeah,
there.
you up there. You said,
Yeah.
hey, get up here, man.
play
Yeah.
big that day. Yes, sir.
But Chuck, man, you
That
deserve
was
this, man.
That was the arm that I messed up. That was my arm. My shoulder was messed up when I caught that ball. My fingers got cut short.
That arm made you famous.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, Chuck, you deserve this, man. So keep
I
grinding,
appreciate
man.
y'all.
Keep working out in that therapy, getting back. And we
Gotcha.
appreciate you, man. From the OGs to the young, man. We love you,
Absolutely.
man. We
Yes,
got you.
sir. 10-4.
All right,
I
bro.
appreciate y'all.
Let's see.
All right,
Let's
brother.
appreciate it, Chuck. Damn, you talk about that pregame ritual. What was your pregame ritual?
Who, mine?
Yeah.
Look, this is when you know we about to outdate ourselves here. So we ain't have all the Spotify, and we had to go in. Remember LimeWire? We had to go download illegal songs and put on that thing.
LimeWire and
MP3.
Bear Share.
Yeah, yeah. So people don't know this, man. So I'm spiritual, man. So I'm listening to my gospel playlist, old school. But I always, and I don't know why, but Michael Jackson, you want to be starting something? just that was my like for some reason it got me into like it's weird, but it was like that got me in the mood, like just straight up like, hey, you want to be starting something, and then like I would just it'll get me more like joyous and like get it like, oh, I'm dancing. Because like, I took my baby to the doctor. yeah. And I was like, you can't feed the baby. You don't have a baby. And I'll be there, hey, and look, Jehuu, we in that old locker room. Room. So you just sitting there, you can't really get it, but you just in your little small one, like.
And we had coaches that you couldn't really express yourself either.
Yeah, you couldn't really be you, right? But I always made sure right at that time, when the band was in the tunnel and they did that yell roar before we went out, I had to always make sure them things was out before hearing that, because that was like that warrior call, like, yeah, right. Look, get a little chills in your body right now.
It's go time.
Yeah.
What about you, Stray?
Hey man, I'm before all of that, man. We had like Discman. We so far back in the days, man.
Y'all had the 8-track?
No 8-track. It was a steady diet of look. We was all about Tupac, Biggie, Outkast. It was guys singing Outkast out loud. They got they screaming, talking about the players' ball. I'm like, hey man, all the players came.
And that album slapped though, like the players' ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that was together.
And then you had that Outkast with that Southern playalistic, Cadillac, funky music.
Yes. That's
why do you always see stuff like in a country swing, like it's a country song?
That's how it is.
No, every time, just like.
But I didn't listen to music before games.
What'd you do?
What was you doing?
Okay, so this is gonna get a little funky, even weird, but so I would go to the state. When we got there, I would take all my clothes off and just be in compression shorts, and I would lay on the ground, just lay on the ground and eat a Snickers bar, and then after that, I would put a shirt and short, and I'll go outside.
That's true, and you be running, and he just be running like.
I'd just be running. Like just running, and I just get sweaty, and then come back in, change in. Javon and I would go in the showers and say a prayer, and then come out for that band coming through to rock the walls. That was it. I never listened to music at any stage playing football.
You did this all the way. You did this in every game.
Every game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look,
in the NFL.
Yep.
Look, it took me like, it took me like maybe half the season my freshman year to realize I was allowed to go out there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I could just go out there and warm up and run before we go out there.
Hey, it wasn't
when I did, you remember Primetime would go out there and run around the entire stadium.
Yeah, you used to do that.
And I used to do that because I did it in high school, but I didn't know when I was allowed to do it in college. But I went out there and I would run around the whole like track, like basically made it like it was a track, like get my 4 laps in, like I ran a mile. And then all she wrote, especially when it's cold, put all that Vaseline on and put a dry fit on and sweat and then come out with no sleeves. Yeah. I know we running long, kids, man. I know we running long, but this is
fellow offensive lineman out there. If you hear that, if you hear him say, I ran 4 laps to get ready to play a football game, and that was okay, you're probably not an offensive lineman, because there's no way any offensive lineman would go run a mile to get warmed up to play a football game. That's definitely DB talk right there. Defensive back.
We put on the most miles. You feel me? So we gotta be ready. Gotta be ready.
You do, man. Hey, so look, man. Like Otis, what's next on the agenda for today?
Yeah, so as everyone's seen, I know we were going to run long when we were in the production call today. We knew it was going to be a long day today. But Spartan Nation, obviously, it's been the talk of the town. One of our great coaches that was with us for a year has departed. And it's not a departure. of he's leaving us to go somewhere else, like in the college ranks. Coach BT, man, is leveling up and going to the NFL, man. And so, it hurts. This one really hurts. And fellas, like, we talked about this, but let's figure out, like, let's have this open talk and open dialogue about, one, the decision, two, the hole that we got to fill, and three, like, the future of, this is a big recruiting loss. Like, let's just call a spade here. But Coach BT has did more than what coaches have done in a few years, and he did it 1 year in an off season, right? And so, this is huge for us to lose him. Like, we lost Coach Vic. We also now losing, BT. But let's have open dialogue about it, man. How do you feel about it?
So for me, I mean, yeah, it's a huge loss. I'm so happy for BT for being able to follow his dreams and be able to realize his childhood dream of being in the NFL now as a coach, which is a huge thing. He gets to go out with Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks, which is a great organization, and he's going to be empowered and groomed to be a defensive coordinator, which is what he really ultimately wanted to do. Losing him as a recruiter is a huge loss. It is. It's going to be a lot of ground for Michigan State to make up. But, the leader in charge, Mel Tucker, there's a reason that he was extended the way he was from a contract standpoint, because he's the kind of guy that is battle tested. He understands how to navigate through these tough waters. They are tough waters. There's no doubt about it. You can see Mel Tucker did try to counter and try to keep him, but it was just, too little too late for him. And it wasn't about the money. Mel Tucker does have enough of that, from the coaching pool and all that he has. So that was the issue. But I think that him going to the next level does speak volumes for the coaching staff at large, that they do have talent on the coaching staff. Like, Mel Tucker can groom someone to go to the NFL. You see Fiegler, who left a year ago to go to Florida as the running backs coach, is now in the NFL. There's several coaches it was underneath Mel Tucker's purview that now have made that jump, which should attract more talented coaches, because we're going to need it, guys. I mean, we're talking about being able to connect with some of the youth and what they are asking of coaches today. College coaches today is, in my opinion, it's a bit unreasonable, to be honest with you. Like, it's a 24/7 recruiting world that they have to live in. Their family lives have to suffer because they can't turn that phone off, man. BT, I never heard anything from him that he couldn't stand that, but I talk to NFL coaches and college coaches, and there's a clear delineation between that, where it's more family friendly. You can be more of a well-rounded person in the NFL versus college, the way the rules are now, this recruiting cycle, guys. So to find someone that's as talented is going to be tough, but Mel Tucker is a guy, if anybody can do it, Mel Tucker can do it.
Yeah, that was very well said. Look, I'm like, Choo, what you got after that?
Well, all I got to say is this, in every level that you play, when you're in high school football, the next step is to play in college. When you're in college, your next step is to play in the NFL. Just like the same thing in life. You're you come out in work, you're in the entry level position. You want to get to a managerial role, then you want to get to a director, a CEO, and everything like that. So, congratulations to BT for this opportunity. It's something that he worked for, hard worker and everything like that. I saw a tweet about him, man, this is crazy. God's good. 3 years ago, he was picking up trash to earn money. Now he's coaching in the NFL. That's great. That's going to be something that's going to attract people to Michigan State, is that you can have this opportunity. You have a platform to better yourself. You're not going to be held back. There is no glass ceiling, really. My only concern to this is the fact that, are we going to lose recruits, through the fact that he's leaving? And the thing is, and I'm going to say it, we don't know anything new about this new D-line coach. We had Coach Vickerson that was there, who had a great relationship with the kids. I don't know if he's still a part of the team or not. And then we're losing BT as well. So we don't know. Like, David Stone, a highly touted guy, is he going to come? Now other people are using this as fuel. Like, hey, it's a no-brainer now to go to OU. People are tweeting at him, but we don't know what repercussions and how the dominoes are going to fall. At the end of the day, losing a coach this point in time in the season, especially with the way that a player can just pick up and transfer anytime, and the way that in the trajectory and the way that we want to go as a program, and we know our defensive line is going to be integral to getting to those steps and reaching those goals that we have set. It's gonna be something, attracting these guys, these young recruits here. BT held combines and camps here in East Lansing. The NFL guys came, and if I'm a player and I'm walking in the weave and I see NFL guys in their training camp, Hayward, Von Miller, all those guys, I'm like, shit, yeah, I want to come to Michigan State to do this. So that's a big loss on the recruiting side for Michigan State, losing BT. But hopefully, our play, our defense, and our health comes together, and we can get back on that platform again that we were a couple years ago defensively.
Well said, man. Well said.
You know what we didn't really touch on, because it was Dr. Rema made a comment, and you asked a question like, what does it take for that overall experience for us to be better? And she brought up a couple of things. She said winning is one of the things. She said, but obviously the alcohol that you wanted to talk about, Otis, but
I didn't want to
to me, when
it.
she brought up the NIL, like how it is in the South. I think that if you have that support from your fan base like they do in the SEC, I'm seeing it clearly right now. In the recruiting process that's going on, and other parents that I talk to, other players, it's night and day. And she described our facilities now as being high school like compared to those, and we don't know that when you're here. You don't know, but you just heard that, and I didn't talk to her about any of this stuff. Okay, to be full disclosure, did not talk to her about that, and it's the truth. She said that if the people around the university support like a Matt Ishbia, you may not have Matt Ishbia money, but every little bit counts, and everybody can do something. Like you have a guy like Cal who's doing God's work, in my opinion, to help them. This is for the program. This isn't necessarily a big business move for him. This is not a big business move for him. This is a Spartan that chose to use whatever platform he has to help the team. That's what it is. That's what it takes, and that's what you see down south from the masses. And I know Spartans have that will. They have the heart. They have the passion. Spartans want to win, but it's that, I don't know, let's see, I don't know, is it really legal? Like that stuff. She said they're unapologetic down south. They don't ask for permission or beg for forgiveness. So why are we, I don't know if it's, I don't know, I'm going to wait. And we're going, okay, then don't be upset, guys, when we're teetering on bowl eligibility or not bowl eligibility year after year after year because of that. That's really the reason. And that support brings the coaches too. That brings the coaches, all that stuff brings what? The talent. The talent brings what? The wins. You can't have it the other way. We don't wait to win and then we'll go out and get the guys. That doesn't work. So until we get in that mindset as a culture, as a Spartan nation, then that's the bigger issue, in my opinion, than BT. BT is a hell of a loss, but what's worse, what can make up for a BT is the uniting of all Spartans to go in the same direction and understand what it takes to compete at that level. We have it, guys. I feel like I was on the soapbox right there. I think that we have the ability. We do. We have the passion. We have the ability. You just gotta put it in line. Call Otis. He'll tell you how.
Yes, in other news. Well, let's talk about how we got to figure out how we have to manage that though, Stray. Like we have to, when it does come in, how are we managing that, and how is that getting to everyone who is currently a student athlete on campus, but when they get here, they're taken care of. What we're finding is our current student athletes, like you heard Chuck. It's like, man, I've been having these kind of nickel and dimes here and there, and this is my biggest NIL deal with Kyle and IHOP, and that kind of gives me inclination to like, man, like there's guys out here that's putting their hearts and souls out there right now, currently, that we got to get in front of. We got to get them the deal. So Well, next, obviously, transition into men's basketball. We saw some season accolades happen with our two guards and Joey Hauser. But we talked about this last week that our front court, when they are locked and loaded, like Ty Walker and AJ Harger is unstoppable. When they are both clicking, AJ's not turning the ball over. Ty is hitting those jumpers and always the buzzer beater on the shot clock. Joey's hitting the three. Malik calls balling. Like, we could go long and far in this tournament in March Madness. But, we look at Jaden Akins. If he didn't get hurt, think about it. Jaden would probably be second team because he's hitting right now too. So, we want to celebrate those guys and our seniors. We talked about the production got cut off at the end of senior celebration. So that's in other news that we got to hit. But the senior celebration started by our very own Sean Respert is one of the most elite traditions I've seen and experienced. And that's me being biased probably, but you don't see that elsewhere. You see the traditional walk out with your parents, get the flowers, get your jersey. But when you're able to call that timeout and kiss that logo, it's truly something that's very you look forward to. I wish we would have had that in football, but to your point, we talked about the senior traditions in football. It wasn't as glorious and glamorous like it is for basketball. But
he replaces number 43, Jason Strayhorn. He replaces number 10, Jehuu Caulcrick. He replaces number 2, Tyson Walker. He replaces number 25, Malik Hall.
that guy had a day though too. That guy had a day. You look at Malik Hall, Ty Walker, they still have the option to come back. They still got the COVID year. So the only one that doesn't is Joey because he exhausted that. But those two, they come back with the recruiting class. I said it before. It's very promising. And Izzo always says this with all his classes, but if he doesn't win one with this class coming in and if they come back, he basically always says, I'm not a great coach. He always says that. But we know Izzo's a Hall of Fame coach. But talk about Big Ten conference play. We get the pleasure of going down there to Chicago, the Chi-Town, Windy City. Take us through.
Sir.
Take us through. Like, man, we got double bye, man. Feels good.
Double bye is good. You get to rest up a little bit. You have, some tune-up games before you hit the big turn. For me, I'm not big into the Big Ten, tournament. I'm not big into it. I want our guys to rest up and get down and where it really matters.
So you saying
I'm just saying, like,
so you're saying like this is an opportunity to get, if we win it all, you get a better seed, or you saying regardless if we win or lose, we're still gonna have that same seed in Selection Sunday? That's when it matters. Like if if you're Purdue, it doesn't matter. Clearly, you're number one seed, regardless.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the Big Ten. I'm not sold on the Big Ten. I'd rather rest guys and get them ready for the real tournament, the NCAA tournament. There, our seeding's not going to change either way. We're not going to get higher than a 5 seed, no matter what we do in the tournament. So
let's say win
less than a 8 seed either.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Of course.
No, you're still
more TV.
Yeah.
Come on now. More beer sales.
It's more for Choo Choo, man. More for Choo Choo, not me.
But you can't go deep in the tournament without solid, mature, experienced guard play, and that's what Michigan State has. I know that we may lack a little bit in the post, but I think Sissoko and what's my man's Cooler.
Yeah,
Kohler?
Baby Jack's Kohler.
Yeah, Baby Jack. Yeah, man. So, I think they can do their thing. And you got that solid guard play. There's going to be a lot of younger guards out there Purdue's got younger guards. I mean, they may feel that pressure, you know, in the tournament scenarios when it's survive and advance or win or go home. So we'll see how it all plays out, guys. I mean, great show. I think that we've thoroughly discussed a lot of things. A lot of people on this show. Final thoughts, Jehuu?
Hey, go green.
Otis?
Shout out to all of our followers. We consistently had, 30 plus tonight. I know we went long, but we appreciate y'all staying with us and obviously supporting us and liking us and following us. So great show tonight. Looking forward to for Thursday and, go green.
Hey, and that's nothing more needs to say. For those fellas, Otis Wiley Jehuu Caulcrick, I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta. Have a good night. God bless you. Go green.
It's a circle.
Go white. You can't do it.
This is Sparta MSU as a combined presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. The show is produced by Pete Menez with additional support from Tony Costella. Operations and social media support is provided by Alicia Strayhorn with support from Cecily Max Brown. On-location technical support is provided by Good Fruit Video. Be sure to follow our hosts Jason Strayhorn, Jehuu Caulcrick, and Otis Wiley on social media. To stay up to date with all the latest, this is Sparta News. Please like and subscribe by visiting our link tree and tell a friend to do the same. Thank you for your support, and as always, go green.